What I'm saying is that because less businesses can right now go to influencers and order advertising, there should be less advertising and probably the ROI is higher. So I'm interested, like, what's happening in the influencer marketing right now, like from what you're seeing.
Yeah, no, but those are great questions. So I think a couple of points. The first is that I think actually most influencers, again, and I see mostly just the consumer space, beauty and a few other adjacent lines. But what I see is that the influencers are actually already they're already fairly well aligned with e-commerce. So for the retailers or brands that have both an online and an offline business, they were already kind of like the influencers were driving most tangible value for the e-commerce business. And that's where the budgets have stayed generally. In some cases, they've even increased over there. So actually, I think they are slightly more insulated from it than many other types of marketing. They would not, I think, be among the first costs to cut for omni-channel brands. The second is I can see they're very, very quick to adapt. So you'll see, for example, in my market here in Thailand, suddenly live streaming shopping events for platforms like Lazada and Shopee is like, boom, off the charts. And that's sort of multi-hour commitments for the influencers, but also something they're generally very good at, this direct selling approach. We had heard about live streaming for the longest time. It had been a feature on Lazada for at least a year, with some sporadic success here and there. Now it's just blowing up. So I think actually what's happening is this situation is just speeding up that innovation adoption curve a little bit. And I can see a lot of the influencers sort of trying to do more over there. Now, on the point around like, how do you stand out between like with influencers that just promote a whole lot of stuff? That is a very real question. But this, again, I would come back to the question about staying power. The ones that promote a whole lot of different stuff generally tend to lose a little bit of steam on the audience side, and I think also on the advertiser side. So the ones that I see that have, again, that staying power year for year are actually the ones that manage to curate that quite well. So I don't see that much. Like one thing that comes to my mind actually from mostly when I was in Singapore is you sometimes have influencers who, like, they've been on a trip, for example, and they come back home and then they do a story where they show all the parcels they've gotten from different brands. And I always think to myself, oh, I hope we don't have one of those bags, because it's just so much stuff. Like, how do we stand out there? But I think by having been in that game for so many years, I think, we try and think about it like one or two levels deeper than that. But it's certainly changing. I think the live streaming will be a real hit the next few months.